Hey everybody, welcome to the Music Room Podcast, a home for artists and storytellers and weirdos. We're glad you're here, and I have a special guest today I want to introduce you to in a minute, but first I'm going to do a song. There are people who wait, watch and wonder how to cross that river rolling by. They're sitting on the shore, they know there's something more, but that something's waiting on the other side. There are those who jump right in when they know it's sink or swim. It's all or nothing, do or die. Life's a roller coaster. Let's all take it for a ride. Lots of people may look across the ocean. Lots of people may look across the land. There are those who love the sky, but there ain't no reason why all these dreamers, they can't go hand in hand. If we fly or if we fall, the ride is worth it all. What's the point of dreaming at all? Life's a roller coaster. Let's all take it for a ride. We go up, we go down, we go round and round and round and round. Throw your hands in the air, feel the wind blow through your hair. It gets out of control sometimes. There are those who risk it all, backs against the wall, a fire inside them burning strong. They're like a quarterback who knows he can't run, he's gotta throw to make it when it's third and long. Oh, the pressure and the pain is totally insane, but it's worth it just to play the game. Life's a roller coaster. Let's all take it for a ride. Life's a roller coaster. Let's all take it for a ride, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Roller coaster. I am really excited to have with us today our friend, Mr. Grant Adams. Grant, welcome to the Music Room.
Well, thanks for having me, Matt. Man, it's good to be here.
It is great to have you here. I had heard about Grant for probably a couple of years because my daughter went to school with you, and then my daughter started dating your brother, Stuart. By the way, Stuart is our producer for the Music Room. You're going to have a cameo of him from time to time. Stuart, say hi to everybody for us. Hi, everybody. Yeah, they can't see you waving, so you have to yell really loud. So I'd heard about Grant for a couple of years, and then John Stendal and Jimmy Jackson, who were my drummer and bass player at North Point, where I lead worship, traveled with you, played music with you. So I'd heard about you for a couple of years, and I kept saying, I want to meet Grant Adams. And finally, I got to meet you. I was a little bit starstruck. I was like, I get to meet the Grant Adams. And now we have the Grant Adams here with us at the Music Room today. So you guys are in for a treat. Grant, how about this? Start us off with a song.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna talk about music and life and all kinds of stuff.
Sounds great.
All right.
Sounds great. Well, thanks again for having me. This is a song I wrote a few years ago. It's on my first EP, and it's called Today. I feel alive. I feel like the world's within my reach. And I feel alive. I feel like I'm 47th Street, breathing the city's beat. And you've got the windows rolled down, and I know exactly who I am. And right now I'm right where I wanna be. We both know the walls just won't stand. The walls won't stand. But I wanna live like there's no tomorrow, and I wanna be the words I say, and I wanna let go of the sorrow, and I wanna live, yeah, I wanna live today. And I feel alive. I feel like it's more than just a dream. It's a soaring melody. And I feel alive, yeah. I feel like a prisoner set free. And you've got the windows rolled down, and I know exactly who I am. And right now I'm right where I wanna be. We both know the walls just won't stand. The walls won't stand. Oh, but I wanna live like there's no tomorrow, and I wanna be the words I say, and I wanna let go of the sorrow, and I wanna live, yeah, I wanna live today. Well, tomorrow ain't promised, yesterday's gone. All I really want is for the now to be my home. And I wanna live like there's no tomorrow, and I wanna be the words I say, and I wanna let go of the sorrow, and I wanna live, yeah, I wanna live like there's no tomorrow, and I wanna be the words I say, and I wanna let go of the sorrow, yeah, I wanna live, oh, I wanna live today, yeah, I wanna live today, oh.
Very nice, man. I like that song. Words to live by right there, folks.
Appreciate it.
It's today was a cold, crisp morning here in Oklahoma. We had Oklahoma City. We had 24 degrees, and our heater actually went out last night. I woke up this morning, it was 56 degrees inside our house, so I felt like I was camping. I needed to go get my sleeping bag, so I'm just now kind of getting thawed out, it feels like. So tell us how you got to, what are you doing these days?
Yeah.
How'd you get there? What's your journey, your musical journey been?
Yeah. So
Tell us all the good, bad, the ugly, everything.
Yeah.
We want to know.
So right now I am doing mainly two things musically. So I am in the middle of recording a full-length album. This will be my first full-length,
Okay.
12 songs.
Your EP you did came out 2 years ago?
2016.
2016,
It was
okay.
4 years ago.
And that's
So-
the one that the song you just did was on that one. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
So 2016, I released an EP called Beginnings.
Okay.
And so then now...
Which is really good, by the way. I have it, and you should get it. Yes.
And so now I'm getting close to having a full-length album done. And so that'll be coming out here in the next few months, hopefully. So,
All right.
Yeah. So it's getting there. So it'll be 12 new songs.
12. All right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do that, and then I also am a worship leader as well. So I am a worship pastor at South Lakes Church in Oklahoma City.
All right.
And also, as an offshoot of that, I have my own band that we do worship events as well. So
Yes, you do.
yeah,
And
so
travel around and do. And your wife is like the youth minister at your church.
She
too, right?
is.
So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool.
So she's doing that.
Yeah.
I'm doing music. So it's funny. There's actually another couple at our church, another staff couple, like
Yeah.
our children's pastor and our community groups, like our small groups
Yeah.
pastor, they're also married. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's cool though. I think that's cool to
Yeah.
work together, because my wife and I do that too.
Yeah.
And it's just it's really cool to get to work together with your spouse. And I know you hear all these horror stories about fighting and all that, but it shouldn't be that way. We have a great time, and we're able to, I think, accomplish more working together. And it's a neat dynamic. And you have some other exciting news on the horizon, right?
I do, yeah. We found out about a month ago that we are expecting a baby in September. So it feels kind of weird to even say that.
First baby, right?
But yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we are excited. It's it was definitely. I mean, my wife was told for over 10 years, hey, you're probably not going to be able to have kids.
Wow.
Ever. So for it to happen like this has been definitely a miracle and just amazing to see. So
I saw your van that you drove up in, and I'm envisioning what that's going to look like in about 10 or 11 months with baby seats and car carriers and all that stuff in it. And
yep, people make fun of that van because for 3 years I was a single guy driving a minivan, but hey, it paid off. Right?
I did my time in vans. In fact, it wasn't even a minivan; it was a full blown
I want one of
conversion
those.
van for traveling. But
Yep.
they're awesome. You have that bed in the back you can lay down on and try to take a nap, and haul gear, pull a trailer, and
I want one of those.
they're awesome.
So
I
if you
know.
have one, you're looking to get rid of.
I had
anybody,
I had
let
an
me know.
awesome one. It was great, but you wouldn't want that one. It was well worn when we got rid of it, and now I just drive a car. So it's kind of weird when I think about. And driving vans, you just get used to it everywhere you go, and trying to park that thing, and it takes some skill to park conversions. So tell me, just a little bit out of your story.
Yeah.
Tell me about maybe where you went to school, what you did, and how you got here. How'd you start playing gigs and music, and how'd that work out for you?
So I was thinking about this earlier, and I think my musical journey is really kind of a piece of a lifelong journey with creativity. And that sounds kind of pretentious, but hear me out.
I like creativity.
But as I was thinking about this, I remember my earliest memories with creativity, so to speak, were I was 4 or 5 years old, and my brother Stuart and I, we have some cousins that we're pretty close to in age and everything, and so we would make these basically little mini shows for our family to watch us perform in the living room. And naturally, the fireplace was the stage, you know, whole thing. And so,
nice.
Some of my earliest memories with music and with being creative are those times of like planning these little 5-minute concerts
Productions,
for my family. And so, I think my creative brain was sparked in that moment of, I could actually do something with this. This is more than just like dancing around. Like I could do something with this. I didn't know that at the time. Like I wasn't like consciously thinking, this is creativity. But I think on a subconscious level, it was just like, this is really fun. And so, skip to age 7, 8. I'm in like 5th grade, and I started trying out creative writing. I was like, oh man, this is kind of cool too. So I would write these little short stories and give them to my teacher. And I remember my teacher giving me some encouragement, like, hey, these are pretty good. You should keep doing it. And so that was just another phase, so to speak, of my creativity journey. We'll call it that. And so skip from like that phase into 6th and 7th grade. The same cousins that I had mentioned earlier, we, for whatever reason, I think it was because I had probably just seen Pirates of the Caribbean or something like that. I decided, let's make our own movie. Okay. And so looking back on it, they were pretty terrible and pretty just bad. But
it's okay.
But I mean, we wrote the script for these they were probably 15, 20-minute little films we made. And so we would write out a script, and we would storyboard, and we would plan all the shots and all the lighting and everything. And looking back, as silly and as goofy as those were, it taught me a lot about the creative process. Like, hey, here's how you do this. Here's how you finish a project.
Yeah.
Here's how you do all that. And again, I wasn't thinking like, hey, this is being creative.
I can parlay this into
it was just
make it a full length record.
I was just having
EP.
fun. I was just like, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah.
Without knowing, like, hey, this is actually being creative. So, skip from that into around 8th grade, I was required to be in choir for 1/4 of the school year.
1/4.
Yes. And so when I was in school, I went to a small little Christian school here in Oklahoma City called Christian Heritage. And in 7th and 8th grade, you were required to sing at graduation for the seniors, along with the high school choir.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cruel to the 7th graders. I guess it's cruel to the seniors to have to listen to the 7th graders.
It's a little bit of both. Yeah, it's a little bit of both. But for whatever reason, I think I fell in love with singing, and that was the first time I had really ever been in a structured, organized singing.
It is
thing.
fun. It is.
That's
fun.
that was up until that point.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention, from age 7 to 14, I was totally involved in sports in every single way. Music, creativity was not on my radar.
You hadn't even picked up guitar by then?
No, nothing.
Yeah.
I had a guitar that lived under my bed.
Yeah.
I didn't ever touch it.
Yeah.
And so I was super into basketball, baseball, football. Like, I lived and breathed it all the time. Stuart can attest to it. It probably drove him nuts.
Yeah.
So, but up until that point, like, I had no musical endeavor, so to speak. And so just being in choir in a structured, like, organized singing thing opened up this whole new world to me. And so I enrolled in high school choir in 9th grade for the first time.
Cool.
And was super nervous to try out, of course.
Yeah.
And it's a small Christian school. You don't have to be incredible to get in. If you can carry at least some pitch, they're probably
you have
going
a
to
pulse. You're okay. Come on. You're in.
So, but I didn't realize it at the time. And so got in choir and just absolutely loved it. And so one day I was homesick from school. I'd been home for 2 or 3 days, and I'd gotten bored of watching movies and TV and stuff. And so my brother had a little digital piano in his room, because at the time he was taking piano lessons. And so he had a little digital keyboard in his room.
Of course he did. Yes.
Yes. That would, it was a little Yamaha keyboard that would teach you how to play songs.
Oh, did it have the little light up keys that lit up?
It had the
Those
little
are
light up
awesome.
keys.
Those are so cool.
And so, like, you could pick out of these, like, 100, 150 like, classic songs, and it would light up for each note that you're supposed to play.
Yeah.
And so
that's cool.
I found that came pretty easy to me. Like, I could almost, if I knew the song, I could figure it out without the lighting up, so to speak. And so that just sparked this new kind of creativity, this new interest within me. And so I enrolled in piano lessons. Mind you, at the same time, I'm still playing baseball. I'm still playing basketball. And so I enrolled in piano lessons, and at that point, sports kind of took a back seat. And I basically said, you know what, I don't really want that anymore. To the point where the only time that the piano teacher I was enrolled with, the only time she could get me in was right in the middle of baseball practice. And I said, I'll take it. Yeah. And you can imagine the kind of, not bullying, but the kind of talk I received on the baseball team.
Gave up baseball to take piano lessons.
To take piano lessons as a 15-year-old boy was not exactly fun. And so I did that, and then I quit basketball and got a whole other line of ridicule. Not ridicule, but again, just making fun of for that, for playing piano instead of playing basketball anymore. So finally got through all that and started leading worship at my church. Just here and there, I would do like kids events or like kids Sunday morning type stuff, and that eventually turned into I was leading our kids service every week
that's
at
cool.
15, and so again
With the keyboard?
with guitar.
With
so at this
guitar?
point, so in that
Guitar too.
in that ninth grade year when I had taken up piano, I'd also picked up guitar.
Okay.
Out of necessity. This other
Yeah.
group at church that needed a guitar player. They're like, "Hey, you have a guitar?" I was like, "I have one. I don't know how to play it." They're like, "All right, you're in." And so, just the fact that I had one,
Yeah.
and so
If you can hold it, if you can kind of
Can
look
you hold
cool,
it?
like
Can
look like you know what you're doing.
do you
you're-
have any picks?
You're good,
in.
man. Yeah.
So, yeah. So then that turned into a every week leading kids worship type thing, which turned into a every week doing Wednesday night stuff, which
Yeah.
turned into eventually being brought on as a music. The position was music intern, so I was basically an associate to the music
Yeah.
pastor, without being like an official associate per
Yeah.
se.
For a big church, right?
For the whole
yeah,
music
yeah.
ministry.
Wow.
So I had done about. I'm skipping ahead a little bit. I had done about 5 years of just volunteering on Wednesday and Sunday. Before the worship pastor was like, "Hey, do you want this internship?"
Yeah.
And so I took the internship and just kind of grew to love doing worship and
That's cool.
being involved in that. And so from that point, I was going to OU for a little bit, University of Oklahoma for a year, I think.
Yep.
And
Go Sooners.
yeah, and I decided, you know what, journalism is not what I want to do.
Okay.
I was a broadcast journalism major, and
I didn't realize you went to OU before you went to ACM.
Yep, I'd gone to the University of Central Oklahoma my freshman year for marketing.
Okay.
I don't know why. And then
Marketing's good.
And then I went to University of Oklahoma for broadcast journalism, and then realized I don't want to do this. So then I decided to try my hand at the Academy of Contemporary Music in Oklahoma City.
We have this
So
really cool school here. It's basically School of Rock called the Academy of Contemporary Music. It's in conjunction with the University of Central Oklahoma, but it's in downtown Oklahoma City, where it's modern, the modern music business as we know it. And it's really neat that we have that here. I've told my daughter goes to school. That's where she met you, and she's a senior there. And then Stuart went there, and so you can learn performance, production, and music business.
yeah,
It's really valuable. It's stuff that I had to learn the hard way over many years of trial and error, much trial and much error.
yeah.
So I'm jealous you guys get to just go and learn. You learn how to pack a trailer and back a trailer up.
Yeah.
I had to learn that the hard way and scraping mirrors off my van. So
Yeah.
it's neat that you decided to go there. You said, okay, I want to go to School of Rock.
Yep. And so it's a really cool place. Like
It
you
is a
said,
cool place.
It's a really, really good place for students to just learn and get their hands on things. So
That's right. So plug for ACM.
Yeah.
You're welcome,
definitely.
Scott Booker.
Definitely. Man, I learned a ton there and just grew a lot as a musician, as a person.
What's the most valuable thing you got out of that, would you say? I mean, you knew how to play guitar.
Yeah.
But what is it that's you came out of that with saying, I'm so glad I went to that because of?
I would say it's just learning to work alongside other artists, alongside producers, other musicians. Because up until that point, I mean, I had played in like bands at church,
Yeah.
or done solo stuff, but to be put in a situation where, okay, here's these 5 songs, you need to learn them by next week and have them down as perfectly as you can.
Yeah.
And the whole band is accountable for that. It's a different kind of dynamic, and I'd never done that per se, in
Yeah.
that with the expectation level being, if this is what you're going to school for, like, let's do it right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I would say for me, the most valuable part was just learning to work with other people professionally
Sure.
and efficiently.
Like, what's it really mean to be a professional musician?
Right.
What's that really mean? What's that look like?
Right. Like, I
think
had
that's
no idea.
most people don't.
I had
and
no
I
clue.
didn't. I just had to figure it out. It's like, I want to get paid for doing this. How do I go about that? So
And
I think that's great. You had that opportunity.
even things as simple as, okay, here are the songs, chart the songs out.
Mm-hmm.
Here's rehearsal time, show up on time.
Yeah.
Like, here's the show time, like, get there early,
Mm-hmm.
bring your own cables. Like,
Yeah.
just little things that aren't necessarily things that you would have to go to school to learn, per se. But for me, being in that environment where it was, hey, do these things because
Yeah.
this is how you pass the class,
Yeah.
was good for me.
Yeah.
And so,
Just being around things like that, you kind of just naturally are going to get better.
yeah.
Being around that, having the level, doing what it's doing. And it's like when you go to Nashville, people live in Nashville. If you're around that scene, you're going to kind of soak up that scene and become what that scene is, and that
Yep.
elevates you. So having that here is, I think, really valuable. And
Yeah.
once again, I'm kind of jealous that you guys had that. I think that's really cool. So when you went to ACM, you majored in the
Music performance.
performance.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where you really started taking your band and doing shows and
Yeah.
writing songs, or
Yeah. So actually, because of ACM, I met the guys that are in my band. We don't have like a band, as in like a band name per se. The guys that just play with me
Right.
every time, and
Yeah.
so I met all of them at ACM. So
Okay.
because of ACM, I have my band pretty much.
yeah,
So
those connections,
yep.
common denominator,
Yeah.
and that's kind of brought you to you graduated and did your EP around the same time. Is that right?
Yep. It was within a few months. Yeah. So yeah, it was around the same time, and since then I've been just writing a lot, playing. So I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I've also been just doing a lot of just gigs here and there and stuff. And during that time between then and now, I've taken the new worship job at or now at our current church.
Yeah.
So
South Lakes.
Yeah, I was at a
Plural.
different church growing up and doing the internship and everything, and then I actually kind of took a year off from leading worship when we got married.
Yeah.
I just needed a break. I had gone basically 7 years nonstop.
Straight. That's
I think I counted up one time. Within that 7-year stretch, I had like 5 or 6 weeks off total. It was bad.
That's a lot.
It
That's a lot
was
for
bad.
for a young man.
Yeah, and
of
so I
your
took an
age.
entire
That's a
year
lot. Yeah,
off
I think
of doing
that's-
worship. I was
Yeah.
burned out. So
You have to, and that's good. That's good you realize that instead of doing it when you're burned out.
Yeah.
That's one of the things you can't phone in.
no,
You can't. It's not like making widgets in a factory. It's
Right.
like it's heart and soul, and music is that way too.
Yeah.
The few times that music, there's been, I can count on one hand over 30 years when music actually became a job, and it was a drag because it's such an emotional thing. Usually we
exhausting.
do it because it's joy, it's passion, and you don't even think about it. But the few times I was like, oh, I got to sing this song for the 4th time today, or
Yep.
I got to try to generate energy at 8 o'clock in the morning and sing rock and roll at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Really singing rock and roll before noon is crazy. So how about this? How about
Yeah.
you had another song you
do.
can do for us?
Yeah.
And then so we're going to talk some more about things you're doing that excite you, inspire you, people, maybe music you're listening to, other artists. And then we're going to tell some cool road stories or stage
Sounds
stories.
good.
I'm sure you have some.
I do have
Yeah,
a few.
and maybe you might even tell a story about Stuart too that involves Stuart. Since you're here and you're his brother, I think that's only fitting.
I think so too. So this is a song that I wrote about a year ago about getting not entirely lost, but definitely didn't know where we were in the backwoods of Oregon. It was a little terrifying.
A bit. Did you hear banjos?
You can hear them faintly in the background. So yeah, my wife and I, we went out to Oregon a couple years ago, and we love the Northwest.
Yeah.
And so we had planned on, you'll appreciate this, we had planned on camping in Mount Rainier, which obviously is in Washington.
Love that.
We had planned on that, and we both realized that neither of us had ever really done camping at all.
That's a problem.
And
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
September, and Mount Rainier was already very cold.
Yes.
So we woke up the day we were supposed to go camping, and the low that night was going to be like 17. And we decided that's not a good idea. So we got a last-minute Airbnb, and it was super cheap. It was like,
Nice.
oh, man, this is like $55. Oh, this is perfect. Well, what we didn't realize, it was literally out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of Oregon. Which, if you've been to Oregon, there's massive pine trees. It's just not like here. We just don't have that kind of wooded
No, everything's on the grid here
area
in Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma City, at least.
Mile grid. If you get lost, you kind of just go a mile and turn right,
Yep.
and you'll get found. Yeah.
It was not that way where we were staying. And so getting there was definitely a tricky situation.
Yeah.
So anyway, this song, it's called Northwest Air, and it's about getting lost in the wilderness.
Nice.
So here it is. I drove out to the West Coast last week. Went as far as the dry land would take me. Felt the sand and the waves under my feet. Standing there, we were close as we could be. That Northwest air breathed new life into my lungs. Spent the night about when we were young. I never knew I could love someone this much. Don't wanna sing all the songs that have been sung, 'cause there's just something about that place that I just can't shake. But you do something to me when you whisper like the wind to me softly. And I know that we're both right where we're supposed to be, if we just keep on breathing in that Northwest air. Yeah. I remember us driving through the woods. Got so lost, but we made it, it's all good. Looking back, I wouldn't change a thing. Not a chance, yeah, we made us some memories. And I've been thinking about how fast the time goes, like a lightning bolt over before you know. I think we should get out of this town, make a run for the shore before time's out. 'Cause there's just something about that place that I just can't shake. But you do something to me when you whisper like the wind to me softly. And I know that we're both right where we're supposed to be, if we just keep on breathing in that Northwest air. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, bum, bum. 'Cause there's just something about that place that I just can't shake. But you do something to me when you whisper like the wind to me softly. And I know that we're both right where we're supposed to be. Yeah, yeah. If we just keep on breathing in that northwest air, yeah. That northwest air, that northwest air.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that a lot,
Appreciate
man. That's awesome. So, just I was thinking while you were singing. I mean, I was getting mental pictures, of the Pacific Northwest, which is good. That's a sign of it. The song's doing what it's supposed to do. And when you write songs, do you have a certain? Everybody wants to know, like, when you write songs, what comes first, the
Yeah.
words or the music? There's no real answer to that. But with you, how does it happen usually? How do
Yeah,
you-
like you said, I mean, there's no like correct answer, and it happens in different ways for me. But most of the time, it's with a melody.
yeah.
A melody.
A melody sparks it. Yeah.
Will come
That
in.
had a great melody.
Yeah, I mean that's the
like-
same thing. Like that
Yeah.
was that melody came to my head one day. It was just like,
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from, So
Good melodies are, and I think more of us songwriters should approach it that way. Let the melody boss the song. Let the melody write the song instead of, I got this cool groove, I got this cool idea, words, but the melody kind of. I think we should, as a songwriter, I think we should all pay more attention to a melody. Think about a great melody.
Yeah.
If it can play on Muzak, and you still know what song it is, it doesn't have words, it's just an instrumental. That's a great melody.
yeah,
So I think of, well, if I were to whistle a song, you'd know what it was.
Right.
That's a great melody. So, tell me, like, what you're doing these days that get you excited or inspiring you, things you're working on, and also maybe tell me some other artists that you're really digging on these days.
yeah.
Because I'm old and I have to find out about new hip people to listen to that I don't know about.
You're not old. I think, well, for one, things that are inspiring me or exciting me is definitely the idea of getting an album finished.
That is exciting.
Which we are getting close. Definitely getting close.
So you're birthing a new album and a new baby all in the
right.
same year, man. There's a lot of similarities in case you.
That's true.
There really is.
That's true.
Having had 3 children of our own and 7 albums I've made, 7, 8 if you include my dad's album that I've made over the years. It's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Do you have a potential release date for the album?
I don't have a hard set date for it yet. The goal is late spring, early summer. So
you're going to try to have the album done before baby comes, right? That's the goal.
Yes, that is definitely the goal.
Good goal.
So that's yes. So baby's coming in September. It will definitely be done.
Okay.
By then. So the goal is to have it done and have some touring dates.
Was the Northwest Air song, is that going to be on the new album?
That's
awesome.
one of them.
I love it.
So it has a lot more instruments with it and everything. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's talk about some funny. When we travel, just naturally, bizarre things are going to happen. Just because there's people involved, and it's it's imperfect world, and it's not an exact science. Sometimes just trying to get somewhere, logistics carries its own.
Yep.
And then, do you have any funny road stories?
I do.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Let our people know about. This is kind of like getting inside the tour van, the tour soccer mom van.
That's right.
and heading on the road with a bunch of musicians to a gig.
I call it the man van.
The man van.
Or the band van.
So let our listeners inside the man van, and I know kind of what happens in the man van stays in the man van. But you can maybe share a road story.
So there was this one time, I think it was 2016, so 4 years ago. My band and we were playing a church event down in Tishomingo, Oklahoma.
Been there.
And so we get there, the event goes well, and so we're talking to people afterwards and everything, and all of a sudden I start having some really bad back pain. And I thought, well, maybe I just pulled something, getting the gear out of the van.
Yeah.
I probably just pulled something in my back.
Which happens. Yeah.
Which does happen.
Yeah.
And so I sat down for a minute, and it just got worse and worse. And so I eventually, I just told the guys, I was like, hey, I got to lay down for a second. I don't know what's happening, but I'm not feeling well. And so they were like, okay, yeah, sure. We'll get the rest of it. And so a few minutes go by, and they load the van. Everything's loaded up, ready to go. I'm just like, man, I don't know what's going on, but my back is just killing me to the point where it made me sick.
Dang.
And I was just like, I don't know what's happening, but let's go ahead and go. And so we get in the van, and my drummer, Jimmy, he said, Grant, are you okay? I was like, I think I'm fine. He said, because you look yellow. Not just like you look pale. You look literally yellow. And so I'm like, okay, well, that's not good. And I was starting to feel like I was about to pass out. Like I don't know what's happening to me. So he goes, all right, well, we're going to go to the hospital. And so we get to this hospital.
In Tishomingo.
In Tishomingo. Which it looked to me like a converted elementary school type of situation. So we pull up. I don't know that, but it looked like it had previously been an elementary school. So we pull up, and they bring the wheelchair out for me. I don't think I can even walk.
Oh my
At this point,
gosh.
I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
And so we get pulled in and everything, and they do some scans, and they're like, okay, so turns out you have a small kidney stone.
Oh.
So that would explain why your back was
Yeah.
killing you. It's like, oh gosh, that's terrible. And so they were just like, yeah, it's a really good thing you came in because your blood pressure had dropped to, I don't remember exactly what it was, but
Way low.
Way low. They
Dang.
said like your body was going into shock. And so they're like, it's a good thing you came in because you may have not made it home.
Dang.
It's like, what? I would have died.
In Tishomingo.
And on the road from Tishomingo. So.
The stuff legends are made of, folks.
Yep. So there you go. That sounds like a song right there. I almost died in Tishomingo.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good country song.
It does, actually.
But, yeah, so I survived, obviously. But that was a weird one, for sure. And so my parents came down from Oklahoma City. I think my dad got there. Oklahoma City to Tishomingo was like an hour and a half.
Okay.
Roughly. They got there in like 45 minutes. They were moving.
Hauling, yeah.
Yeah. It was under an hour. I know it was under an hour. So Tiffany and I weren't married at the time, so they came on down and
Had you done the gig already, or was it?
Yeah, we were done.
You're already done with the gig, and then you okay.
Yep. We were done with the gig.
Well,
so
wow.
My band guys drove the van home, and I rode back with my parents.
Yeah.
It was rough. It was rough.
There, the glamorous life of a rock star, right there.
So there you go. Yep. Having your parents come get you and drive you home. So, yeah. So there you go. Tishomingo, Oklahoma.
Well,
that was a weird one.
And you're obviously okay. Any zany stage stories or anything happen on stage you ever?
There was, so I don't know about zany, but there was this one time I was singing at church, and we were doing this song. It was like a Christmas special kind of thing. And it was right at the end of service, going from like it was going to end the service and go into just dismissal, basically. And so the song had a key change in it, but it was a weird key change. It wasn't just like a half step up or a whole step. It was really strange.
Yeah.
And so it was important that I like heard where it was going. Well, at the time, I didn't have any kind of molded or even like
no good in-ear monitors.
Nothing. I was just using earbuds.
Yeah.
And one of them fell out.
Oh no.
And so I completely lost the pitch. And so I just guessed where the new pitch was going to be. Just completely guessed. And So I look out in the audience. I could tell something wasn't right. I mean, it was like, like a relative.
There's
like
a disturbance in the force.
I
somewhere.
was singing in like E, but the song was in A, that kind of thing. So it was kind of,
Yeah.
but not at all. So I was looking out. I could see people kind of grimacing a little bit, and I realized what had happened, and so I just stopped the song. I said, all right, well, this is obviously terrible. I obviously really messed this song
Well, at least
up.
you stopped. You didn't.
Oh, yeah. And so I was like, hey, you'll have a great week. We'll see you next time. And so, yeah, I was referenced back to that. That actually happened again recently. So that's good.
Oh, my. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Man, I was singing at this little town down in Texas, and it was around July. It wasn't a July 4th thing. It was a summer thing they had in the town square because it was the county seat. So they had the courthouse in the town square. This little Texas town out in the southwest Texas, and it was hot, crazy hot. And I was singing under this little gazebo, and I didn't have a stool to sit on, so we'd stacked up some road cases. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting on these road cases singing the most poignant song of the night, the big, tearjerker song. And almost towards the end of the song, I felt one of the cases shift.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, no. I knew what was going to happen. It was like everything went in slow motion. I just fell backwards, guitar, mic stand, and my sound man said he could see my feet just kind of sticking up, my feet sticking up, and the mic was kind of dangling down there somewhere. And he said he could faintly hear me say, "I'm okay."
Oh, no.
So, yeah. So the moral of this story is don't use road cases for a stool to sit on if you're singing a song, especially your most poignant song. And you have to learn to just roll with it and make like what you did, take a bow, say, thank you, folks. I'm a professional. Don't try this at home. And you have to learn to just laugh at yourself.
Yep.
Otherwise, you will end up in counseling somewhere. So just have to learn to roll with it. So this is kind of a special occasion. So Stuart is our producer. And Stuart early on dated my daughter, and now they're engaged to be married. But early on, I told my daughters, even if you dump Stuart, I'm still going to keep him around because he's a great sound man and he's just a great guy to have around. So it's kind of cool you have a younger brother who's a tech, a great, sound man, video tech, producer type person. So maybe is there a cool Stuart story we should know about? Anything that we know? Stuart's he's kind of like cringing over here now. If you can't see him, but he's cringing.
Well, I do have one from last summer actually. I don't know. I'm going to say it. He won't mind. So last summer we were playing at this.
He won't mind.
we were playing at this camp, and it was the last night of this camp, and we were trying to tear down. It was we had already played. We were trying to tear down.
Like church camp, youth camp, summer. Yeah, nothing like that.
Yeah. We'd actually been there for 2 weeks, and so we were ready to go home.
Yeah.
And so we had stuff scattered all over the room because we were, trying to organize things and whatnot. And so these kids decided they wanted to run through this auditorium I don't even know what they were doing. And so here it is, like 1:30 in the morning. We're trying to pack up and go home. These kids are like running through here. And I turn around and I see Stuart go, "Hey, what are you doing?" To these like 13, 14-year-old girls. He's like, "If you don't need to be in here, get out now."
Wow, Stuart. Quite the grumpy old man,
I've ever
aren't
been
we?
more proud in my life. I'm kidding.
He's like Mr. Wilson on Dennis the Menace. Hey, you kid, get out of my yard. Get on my.
So, but one thing off of that I will say about Stuart is Stuart treats everything professionally, and
yes, he
does. He takes what he does very seriously, and so for him, he wasn't trying to be mean. He was just trying to do the job well.
He was,
and they just happened to be in the way.
Yeah.
And so, so that was funny. We all laughed about that one.
That's awesome.
For a while.
So they didn't let Stuart lead a small group at that camp?
No.
That's
So
awesome.
we packed up really quickly and said, "All right, see you later. We're out of here." So
I want to let our people know in a minute about your website, your EP, where they can find that, and then have you do a song, and we'll kind of close with. So, tell our people where they can find your, like, is it grantadams.com or Insta or whatever your social media handles are and all that stuff, or where they can find your music and the EP when it comes out.
Yeah. So turns out there is another artist named Grant Adams out of, I think he's in Chicago. Anyway, so all of my stuff is Grant S. Adams.
Grant S. Adams.
My middle name is Steven, so there you go.
Okay, all right.
So my website is grantsAdamsmusic.com. Same thing with Instagram is at Grant S. Adams. Facebook is just Grant Adams Music. So, yeah.
Okay, there it is, grantsadams.com.
Grants Yep.
And the new CD we're hoping will be out
Yeah, so
early springs, summertime.
early summertime is the goal.
It always
So-
takes longer than we think, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And costs more than we think it's going to cost. But it's worth it. It's worth it. I'm excited about the new full-length album coming, your first full-length album ever.
Yep.
It's been great having you on the Music Room today. I've always loved your music, love what you do, love what you're about. So keep it up. Keep up the good work. And hopefully we'll have you on here again sometime soon after the new album's out. You can roll that out for our people. And congrats on the new baby. I can't wait to meet the new baby. And just, I'm excited what all's in store for you. So thanks for being our guest today. It's been awesome having you here.
Thanks for having me. This is really fun.
It is fun.
It's really
I
fun.
get to hang out with cool people. So
Yeah. So I did want to on your other question about artists that you've been listening to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's an artist named Maggie Rogers I've been listening to a lot, and then some of my favorites are Drew Holcomb.
Oh yeah.
Ben Rector, those kind of guys. So
Love Ben Richter.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but Maggie Rogers is great. I've been listening to her a lot. So anyway,
That's awesome. Anything else you want to? I mean, I didn't want to cut you off. If there's more things you wanted to talk about or things to say, or
no, this has been fun. So I just wanted to mention that one thing.
Yeah.
So I'll play one more. This is from the new album, and it's called "Beat Again." 1, 2, 3. I've been so stressed out. I've been all wrong. Forever thinking that I could ever do it all on my own. And I've been so worried about getting it all wrong. But you and me go together like the letters in the words of your favorite song. And I can see the sunrise coming back again. And I can feel the tide rolling back in. And I can hear a song where it always should have been. And I can feel my heart beat again. And I've been so stressed out, and I've been all wrong, forever thinking that I could ever do it all on my own. I've been so worried about getting it all wrong. But you and me go together like the letters in the words of your favorite song. And I can see the sunrise coming back again. And I can feel the tide rolling back in. Oh, and I can hear a song where it always should have been. Yeah, and I can feel my heart beat again. back again. Oh, and I can see the tide rolling back in. Yeah, and I can feel the soul where it always should have been. Yeah, I can feel my heart beat again.
Yeah, very nice, man. I
Thanks.
love that one. That's a
Appreciate it.
great groove. I
Thanks.
love that a lot. It's kind of got like a Doobie Brothers.
Yeah.
Got the feeling growing day by day. That's awesome. So thank you for being here. Thank you all for joining us on The Music Room. Remember, GrantSAdams.com. New album coming out. Join us again next week. We have some really cool things coming up and you don't want to miss it. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining us on The Music Room.